and gentlemen, please welcome CEO of Carol Cone On Purpose, Carol Cone.
Good morning. Okay, I'm thrilled to be here at Doha Goals to have this esteemed panel. There are organizations and businesses that are involved in sport at their core, but they are also involved in integrating that into the center of their business as well as society. Now, when I started doing this work over 30 years ago, it was a question if companies and brands would get involved with society. And if they did, it was very quiet. It was about philanthropy. Well, fast forward to today, it's now about the how. So what I'd like to do is to start with an amazing piece of video that's about collaboration, because the biggest ideas, the biggest problems can be solved when young people, when NGOs, when government, when business comes together. Let's take a look.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Eagle Houston, you're go for landing. Over. Roger, go for landing. 3,000 feet.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Our march to freedom is irreversible.
The Eagle has landed.
We must not allow fear to stand in our way.
That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
From the moon to a child, polio has almost been eradicated around the globe. We have huge social issues and wonderful and amazing companies to be engaged with them, as well as you're collaborating. So why now? Why is this more important than ever before? Because we live in a 24/7, totally radically transparent world. And I view all of us not as consumers and consuming things. I view all of us, because of our mobile devices, as global citizens. And we are empowered, we're concerned, and we're hungry. Take a look at this really interesting photo. It's in St. Peter's Square. It's the Pope, a gathering in 2005. We're listeners. Fast forward 8 years, we're all active engagers. And then another reason, how many of you in the room were born between 1980 and 1995? Show of hands. Great, you're the millennial generation. And through major research around the globe, what do you want business to do? It's not about making a profit. It's about innovation and getting involved in society. So what I'd like to do in terms of turning it over to our wonderful panel is end with that wonderful clip this morning that you saw about Nelson Mandela and sport.
Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
So I ask the question to you in the audience, and as well to my esteemed panel, what is your role? So I'm going to have a couple questions to start out, and then we're going to have an interactive conversation. So Abdullah, tell us a bit about your organization. Why is CSR important, and what is your approach to it?
CSR is very important part, for to implement our strategy and execute our programs. Since we are working in 15 countries so far, and we are looking for expand our working areas, because there is a lot of needs all over the world, as you know. I might maybe give you a little bit more about who we are.
Right.
Reach Out to Asia is a non-profit organization based in Qatar under umbrella of Qatar Foundation. We are focusing on community development through education and youth engagement. So since the last 10 years, we work with communities and very participatory approaches, engaging communities and partners and sponsors as well into all these operations, from developing the strategies till the results. So the CSR is, for us, is a very important part of what you are doing, and it's always, we try to educate sometimes our corporate partners how it's important, and try to not let them just be a shopping donor and they just fund what they like and just go away from what is not good. And we're doing that by really engaging them, fully engagement, and to turn them from a sponsor into a strategic partner.
Great.
And we found that this is very effective way.
Great, super. Sandra.
Hi, my name is Sandra de Castro Buffington, and I'm the founder of the Global Media Center for Social Impact at UCLA. I founded this center because storytelling may be the most powerful tool we have to transform our world. This morning we heard these stories of becoming, stories of overcoming, stories of succeeding, and stories of giving back. And so the Global Media Center connects real stories of real people and experts with Hollywood's writers and producers to inspire storylines in television, movies, and new media that really make a difference. We know that viewers believe what they see on the screen. So that if we make those stories accurate and realistic, we're giving some people something of value, something that can change their lives. So for example, we had a storyline, a 6-week story arc on traumatic brain injury on the show Army Wives. Then we connected viewers via social media, fans of the show, to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, to their Heads Up Injury Facebook page. And I would cry reading the posts from viewers who were self-diagnosing traumatic brain injuries that they didn't realize they had until they saw it on television, their beloved characters, the people they loved, depicting traumatic brain injury. So storytelling can make the complicated simple.
Great, thank you. Jason's from our beloved LA Lakers.
Yeah, Jason McDevitt, I'm the Director of Community Relations for the LA Lakers. And the Lakers sit at a very interesting point in this discussion, right? We are both the sport, but we are also a corporation. So for the corporation, the brand of the Los Angeles Lakers, giving back to the community and getting engaged is really important, because we exist only because of the love that we get from our fans, who are the community, right? The fans are the ones that drive ticket sales, social engagement, that then drives the profit of the business, that allows us to be successful on the court. And it's really this kind of positive reinforcement cycle. So what we do and what we try to do is give back to the community to show them that their love and their money, all of those things, are really well received, and we appreciate it, and then we like to share that whole, that same kind of interest and affection and energy back with the community.
Great.
So that's on the corporate side, and then on the other side of being kind of a brand and a team, we're part of the NBA, which is very invested in reaching out to the community, and we play our part there. We also allow ourselves the opportunity to help our corporate partners, use the microphone that is the LA Lakers to highlight the different work that they do in the community. There are lots of organizations that are out there working every day to make things better, and it's our ability, because we have so many eyeballs on our product, to amplify that message.
Great, thank you. Martha, AEG, tell us a little bit about the organization, and again, your approach to CSR.
So we're a large sports and entertainment company. We have about 25,000 employees worldwide, and we primarily are active in 3 different areas. We're the second largest concert promotion company in the US. We have over 100 venues globally, which translates into about 50 million visitors that come through our facilities on an annual basis. And we also own sporting teams such as the Stanley Cup winning Los Angeles Kings and MLS champions Los Angeles Galaxy. CSR is important to us for a number of reasons. There's honestly a ton of business reasons why it's important. So consumers are increasingly wanting to know what your company is doing around these issues, whether it's philanthropy or sustainability. Our clients also want to know, so like on the concert side, we may be competing against other concert promoters, but an artist may have a particular passion or sensitivity around sustainability. And the fact that we have a really robust program makes a difference as we're making our case for why they should hire us. But honestly, the most important thing I think for us is that we understand the power that sports and music has on the lives of kids in particular. So our ability to move the needle on things like increasing educational access to kids, incentivizing them to stay in school, I think that's really what drives us. In the Coachella Valley, we own and operate the Coachella Music and Arts Festival. It's probably the most famous music festival in the United States. And every year we donate tickets to the Coachella School District, which is one of the poorest in the state of California. There's a lot of farm workers that live out there. And kids have to have perfect attendance, and by doing so, they earn 2 free tickets to our festival, which is worth a couple $100s. And the school district has seen a market increase in the attendance in that school district because of our program. And so we understand that we can move the needle, and that's really what drives us.
Great, thank you. I'd like to ask all our panelists now, what is one of the most prideful moments they've had in terms of their CSR work? So Abdullah, can you share that with us, please?
Yeah, actually, there is a couple of them, but I think what maybe recently, we just, at the beginning of this year, we launched a partnership with UNICEF and FC Barcelona, and that initiative called 1 in 11, which is referred to that 1 in 11 kids in the world are out of school. And that initiative, which is collect the expert in education, and with Barcelona Club, who has a wonderful toolkit for sport and development, and us as also an organization working in development across Asia and MENA region to help increase enrollment of out-of-school kids in several countries, and also enhance their learning. So we start already now in Bangladesh, Indonesia, and Nepal, and we're looking to expand from this initiative.
Okay, Sandra.
We started the Story Impact Tour series, and we actually take writers and producers into East and South LA. We curate these tours around themes, whether it's to learn about gang violence and innovative solutions to it. We also take them to South Africa, to India. We've been 6 or 7 times to India. And when we were in Soweto, actually in Johannesburg, our writers and producers heard a story from a woman in Soweto about a community solution to domestic violence. And this woman was the executive producer of the show Touch on Fox. And she wrote this into a storyline. And the community solution was when they hear violence going on in a home, the community members run to their kitchens, they grab a pot or a pan and a spoon, they go back out to the doorstep where the violence is taking place, and they bang and clang and make a racket until the violence stops. That storyline was aired in over 100 countries around the world. That practice is now widespread across South Africa. It is spread to Brazil and also to Peru.
Great, Jason?
The thing I'm most proud of that we do out in the community is our Read to Achieve program. And that's something we've been doing for about the last 15 years. It's a reading incentive program for teachers in the LA County area. And I like it because it's something we've been doing, like I said, for 15 years, and it shows a real kind of sustainability and an authenticity to the work that we do. It's something that we know has had success in the past. It engages over 1,100 teachers and 30,000 students, and it allows the teachers to kind of build their curriculums around something that the Lakers give them. And it is important to me because it shows that we found a good way to allow the people that are out in the community serving every day to do their job better. That's the key for me when looking for for a program or a partner that is successful. We are a basketball team, right? Our specialty is basketball. But if we can help the people who are out there in the community working to do their job better, it's really something that I think has been a great success.
Great. Martha.
So I have a new proudest moment virtually every week. I'm very fortunate because we were pretty active. Earlier this year, the Los Angeles Galaxy helped cut the ribbon at a recreation center at the dedication of a new soccer field. One of our nonprofit partners had taken me out there, and it was literally all dirt, and it had rained the day before, so there were potholes of water. And the community just played on it because that's all there was. Still a fair amount of gang activity in that area. And they had raised quite a bit of money, but they were $200,000 short, not a lot of money at all. So we came in and made the final donation. A couple months later, it's a beautiful new artificial turf, but more importantly, the community-based partner has a partnership with Major League Soccer and their Soccer for Success program. And so every week, there's programming that now takes place that will impact thousands of kids on an annual basis. So it's that moment magnified by 1,000 different times in terms of other things that we do.
Great, thank you. Abdullah, I'd love to have you show some of your video, please.
Yes, I would like it with the guys over there. They could show us the video of 111 initiative, and special thanks to our ambassador. They will be shown on the video.
Cada 11 en el mundo no tiene acceso a la educación hoy en día. No están teniendo la oportunidad de tener la infancia que se merecen. Apoyo a la campaña 1 del 11. Les animo a que se unan a nosotros.
Sport and play into education can help inspire girls and boys to attend and stay in school and empower them with the knowledge, skills, and values they need to build a better world. This is why I'm supporting the 1 in 11 campaign to help give children an education and a future. I'm going to do the 11 keep-ups my own way. Let's go. Join us at 111.org to see how you can make a difference.
Únase a nosotros y verá cómo puede marcar la diferencia.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
We really would like everybody to support us in that initiative and the other initiatives which is coming in the near future, inshallah.
Thank you. So that looked wonderful, bringing organizations and athletes together and such.
Exactly.
But I know it's not that easy. So I would love all of our panelists to weigh in on what are the critical success factors to making your CSR work in your organizations. I bet each one of you has some senior executives that say, we're not going to spend that money, or you're not going to get those resources. So I'd love you to share the success factors and maybe one of the challenges you've also had.
Sure, well, I'll start. This is something I alluded to earlier, the hardest part being finding people that are out there doing the best work. Mm-hmm. That's a challenge that we have, but when you find those partners, it turns into a success factor, because those are the people that are out there working every day. There are some folks that Martha and I deal with, in our different organizations, but it's the same people out there serving the communities, the heads of the really, really high quality heads of different boys and girls clubs, different YMCAs, things like that. Those are the people that matter, and that are out there every day doing the work.
Yeah. Martha, I know that you shared with me earlier that sometimes you find these very grassroots smaller organizations, and that you give them, you amplify their awareness. How does that work for you?
Yeah, I think it's important to have sort of a combination of both. So for us, universally, it's about having the right partner who does good work in the community. And that can be a national organization, or that can be a grassroots organization that exists only in one city in the United States or somewhere else in another part of the world. So it's about trying to identify those partners that are going to provide meaningful work. For us, I would also say that you do need to have champions within your business environment. And I've been very fortunate in AG, it's very much a priority, but I think someone's ability to make the business case for why it is important, I think is critical for there to be buy-in within the business side of the organization. And then I think aligning naturally what your company does with the charitable mission is also important, because then I think that it's easier to get influence within and support.
Okay, before we take another, we're going to take questions from the audience. So if you can align via the mics, and we'll take some. And Sandra, would you like to share?
So partnerships are central to our success. So we too identify community partners, grassroots organizations, amazing real people with real stories, and experts on different social justice topics. And we partner with the entertainment industry, Hollywood, the Writers Guild of America West, the Writers Guild of America East. We work with Bollywood and Nollywood and Sollywood. There are so many woods, you may not have heard of them. Did you know that Nigeria makes more movies per year than the US? So those are our partners. So we do what we call creative mixology. We are bringing together some of the most unlikely, duos from grassroots to the master storytellers of our time, and that's how we get stories that matter.
Okay. Abdullah?
I think the challenge is always there. It's part of all, the work itself. So to be honest, is mainly how we deal with to fulfill and address the needs of the partners and the beneficiaries and the communities, and to make that relationship of trust and to be accountable to the both parties, and through engagement and participatory approaches. So I think giving all the parties, each one, an equal responsibilities and importance into your whole processes and model. I think this is very important, and it's really let you together overcome any challenge.
Okay. Do we have a question from the audience? We're sure.
Hi.
Over number 7.
Good afternoon. My name is Victoria Natoli. I'm a student ambassador from the University of Michigan. I'm heavily interested in CSR. And one of my questions for all of you, coming from very impressive organizations, is if you see a value in combining volunteer work and philanthropy, and if you think that one is more important than the other or more valuable than the other.
Okay. Sure.
I think you are absolutely right. In Reach Out to Asia, we have a whole department take care of, volunteers and volunteerism as really a movement of youth, and to really make the things and bridging the gap from the government and the civil society, which is sometimes really nobody using that energy and try to guide them. So I think volunteerism is a very, very important component for the whole development in any country or CSR strategy. And we have a lot of experience that we could share maybe in another platform.
We have a lot of student volunteers in the Global Media Center for Social Impact. They help us put on every event. Last year we did a whole series of events around mass incarceration and prison reform and immigration. And the student volunteers got together and they actually formed a student group on prison reform, which is now funded by the university, by UCLA. And they're putting on their own series of events. So I think it's really important to get involved, if you can, while you're a student, and to volunteer, because you have no idea where that'll take you.
Yeah, we get engaged with volunteerism on the two sides of the business. On our side as a private corporation, just with our employees. In fact, on Thursday, we're shutting down the offices. We're all getting on buses, and we're going to Galen Center to cheer on the Special Olympics basketball. so everyone will be there. We have special T-shirts made up for the occasion, and the response that I've gotten from even within our office has been really overwhelming. We, like in any job, any company, everyone kind of works in their own little silos, but every once in a while, to bring everybody together, it's really an awesome opportunity, and I know there's a lot of excitement around that. And then on the branding side, just out in the community, we partner with an organization here locally called LA Works, which is kind of a hub for different volunteer opportunities, and we have given them some incentives to offer their members to kind of publicize the importance of volunteerism and service in the community.
Martha?
It's hugely important for us, primarily for two reasons. We work with organizations like regional food banks that rely on volunteer support to operate. So over 75% of their workforce is really volunteers. And then the second thing is there's a huge value, I think, to when we bring our employees out, in particular to school environments, just their actual presence, the fact that they're in very low-income communities where those kids don't actually get to see professionals in these different industries, that is creating a value to the students that they're going to be interacting with that day that you can't put a price tag on necessarily.
Can I just build
Absolutely.
on that? It's come to my mind as well about the CSR approaches and strategies that we have. We try to always engage the companies and corporates to, we take them sometimes on a yearly basis with different, to the different field trips into the project that we have in different countries like Cambodia, Indonesia, and Nepal. And it really had a very positive impact on them. And engaging the staff or the employees from those corporates with the community, and we try to bridge that, transfer all this knowledge from here and there. And sometimes there's another model where we use some of the professionals from those companies and corporates to capacity building for the beneficiaries or the grassroots organizations on the countries.
And capacity building is incredibly important. Reach Out to Asia is not just about giving money, but it's about creating sustainable improvements. A show of hands, how many of you feel it's very important in your working life that you have the opportunity to volunteer? Let's see a show of hands. It's almost unanimous. It's really important, especially to millennials today, and for companies to show their purpose, not just a day of volunteerism, but sustained against certain issues. Number 6, we have a question over here.
Yeah, my question actually has to do with sustainability. So the shift towards CSR has kind of peer pressured a lot of other companies to do it who weren't previously in the field. And my question is that with a lot of CSR, it's been happening, we've been seeing one-off. We've seen publicity stunts and marketing, the PR side of it, that it's great, gets the news and kind of creates some good brand rep. But there's also the kind of curiosity with capacity building, like you mentioned, that's not creating sustainable change in the long run. So what things are you seeing in the field currently that groups are doing to create the sustainable change? What's a great example of that? And how has that changed in the last 10 years, especially with groups trying to create sustainable change for capacity building?
That's about an hour answer. I wanted Martha to touch upon AEG because they have such huge facilities and that they have very interesting environmental policies that they're applying to them.
Before I touch on our environmental policies, to answer your question specifically, we try to align ourselves with thought leaders and organizations. There's a committee encouraging corporate philanthropy based out of New York that does a lot of good work. But to be honest with you, the sports industry, I think, has a ways to go in terms of its growth, in terms of professionalizing our giving and our corporate social responsibility programs, because I think traditional philanthropy is sort of at a different point. And so I think that over the next probably 10 years, you'll see some advances in those particular areas. With respect to sustainability, that's part of our CSR platform. We've aligned ourselves with a lot of really great organizations like NRDC. And again, I think we look to professional organizations to help us benchmark. I think metrics are really important for us. And again, as philanthropy and CSR evolves in the sports world, you'll start to see more of that metrics-based evaluation happen.
Yep.
Being university-based, we are really committed to metrics. So we actually evaluate the impact of storylines on viewers. We do pre-tests and post-tests a week before the story airs. We measure knowledge, attitudes, and behavior around the topic, the narrative, and within days after, we do a post-test. We also look at changes in social policy that result from these storylines. So we're doing a lot more than looking at likes. We want to see lasting impact so we can have an offline conversation about that.
Great. We're out of time, but I know the panel will hang around. Thank you very much. I would like to say that the journey of CSR and sustainability towards the center of business and brand, it is expected, it is moving rapidly, and it's very, very exciting time for all of you and for sport to have a great influence in society. Yes?
One note to the young people in the room. Ask yourselves if you can define your superpower. Everybody in life has a superpower. And if you haven't yet defined that for yourself, ask yourself, what is my heartbreak? And follow that. That will take you to your passion and purpose in life.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you.